Hey, welcome to Conley School ESL. Today we are going to learn how to annotate. How do you say annotate? I'll show you. Annotate. Annotate. What is annotate? Annotate helps us understand questions and text better. So let's get started. I want to show you the 3 steps. The first step is write a question mark on the question word. Who, what, when, where, why, how many. Those are question words. You should write a question mark on the question word. It will help us find our answer when we need to write an answer. That's step 1. Step 2. Underline the content words. What are content words? Content words are words for only social studies, words for only math, words for only science. When you are in those classes, it is only those words that you use. For instance, you do not use the word photosynthesis in social studies. You only use it in science class. You only use the word domestication in social studies. You do not use it in math class or science. So content words are words that you only use in that one class. That is step 2, and you underline those. Step 3. Circle language words. What are language words? Language words are words that you can use in science class, math class, and social studies, and any class. They are not words that you use at home with your family many times. They're is, was, had, wanted. They aren't words like that. They are school words, like define. You might not use the word define with your family, but you can use define in social studies, math, and science. In the next part, I'm going to show you how to do annotation with test questions. So let's get started. I'll give you a few examples starting right now.
Alright, before I show you some questions where we will annotate, I want to show you 2 examples of annotation. There is more than one way to annotate, and I just wanted to show you these 2 ways. This is something a teacher had in the classroom, and this is something used in social studies. This class was English, ELA. So, you can use different shapes, and they might mean different things. So, it is good to have a poster in the room or a bookmark. So anyway, let's go on to the next part. Let's look at some examples. Here we have an example from the Algebra 1, Part 1 exam. Before we read this whole paragraph, let's just look for the question. What do they want us to find? And here, the question word is which. So I added a question mark on which. Now that we found the question word, let's read the rest of the question and find math words and language words. It says, which expression can be used to determine how much money Crystal had in the account when she turned 18? Let's look for math words. Do you see any math words? One math word here is account. So I will draw a line under that. It's only used in math. We don't use account in social studies or science, so we can underline that. Another math word here, and it also really is a language word, is expression. And here I will underline, and I probably could also circle it for expression. But it's not perfect, but in this case I think this would be a very important math word, used in math with a very certain meaning. Now, let's look for some language words in this question. I see determine is a language word. Used could be a language word, but it is a word we might use at home. It's not really a school word, so I won't circle that. Now that we have annotated this question, this is a time where you should check to see if you know a vocabulary word or not. For the social studies words, you were probably taught these in math class. For a language word, sometimes you don't know. Here, you should try and translate the word, or look in a dictionary. To help you for right now, determine means find. So, which expression can be used to find how much money Crystal had in the account when she turned 18? Now that we understand the question better, let's annotate the rest of this paragraph. First, let's look for math. Here you see invested. You see interest rate. You might see compounded. You might see deposits and withdrawals. Now, what about language words? You might see the word annually. And really, that is about it. Once again, how expression could be circled, compounded might be circled, too. It does have a math meaning to it, but we might use compounded in ELA or English class. So, now that we understand this better, now that we have annotated, also let's try and translate any meanings. Annually, that you see right here, means each year. It means each year. So, to understand this better now, Crystal was given $3,000 when she turned 2 years old. Her parents invested it at a 2% interest rate, compounded annually, or compounded each year. No deposits or withdrawals were made. Which expression can be used to find how much money Crystal had in the account when she turned 18? Now that you have annotated, it helps you cut what are math words and language words. It helps you understand the question better, and it will help you answer that question. And in this case, the answer is here, number 1. Let's go on to another example. This question is from the Global History and Geography, Part 3, Part A. This is a document-based question. Let's try to understand it. First, let's look at the question. Find the question word. The question word is what? Next, find the social studies words in the question. One social studies word might be France, Robespierre. What about language words? How about according, issue, face, removed, and power. Now that we have annotated, let's see if we can understand the question. I'll translate some of the language words if you don't understand. When you annotate, you should definitely translate your language words. Alright, so let's translate each language word. First, according to, or according. The meaning of according is from. It means that this person said this, said this. Next, issue. Another word for issue is problem. The next word is faced. For this question, another word for faced is had. Our next word is removed. A translation or another way of saying removed is taken away. And lastly, power. And for power, I wrote being important or having control. Now that you have translated the question, let's read this again. From Sean Conley. What was one problem France had after Robespierre was taken away from being important and having control? Now that we understand the question better, let's annotate the text to understand the text better and answer. First, look for social studies words that you might see in here. Here you might see revolutionary armies. In science class you might see revolution, but you probably would not see revolutionary. So for this, it is not a language word. You might also see peace in English class when we do English readings. French is a social studies word. France, the National Convention, representatives, Robespierre, and that is about it for social studies words here. Now for language words. What language words do you see? Restored, peace, borders, turmoil, threatened, sweep, controlled, maybe you know it, maybe you don't, moderate, conservative, condemned, prevent, outbreaks, radical, and demonstrations. We circled a lot of words here, and if you don't know the word, you should translate it or look in a dictionary. This helps you cut between what is a social studies word and what is a language word. If it is a language word, you can probably translate it. If it is not a language word, but a social studies word, you probably should not translate it because you learned it in English, most likely, and it may be confusing when you translate it because you did not learn it in your other language or languages. Now, to answer the question, here is a possible answer. According to Sean Conley, one issue France faced after Robespierre was removed from power was that the representatives from the National Convention could not prevent radical demonstrations. Here you can see I took all of my information from up here. I needed to understand the question and the text in order to be able to answer this. If I want more points, I would need to use outside information about the French Revolution and Robespierre. This gives you an idea of how to begin to answer these questions using annotation.
Well, hope you enjoyed watching this video about annotation, how to annotate. Check out the other videos, and we'll see you next time. Start annotating.